Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is really cold. It's motorcycle says 47 degrees, but it feels colder. And I'm riding to work right now. I just want to have a quick chat with you guys. So, if you guys watched my last video, I mentioned that I dropped my motorcycle. And the main reason that I dropped it was because the weight is very high and I'm short. So when I got to a stop, I was riding with my wife. I had put the suspension on the highest setting, so I was tiptoeing it, and that basically made me not have a good grip, and I was literally just tilted the bike a little bit, and it just started leaning and it just went down, right? So that had me thinking, I don't want to get rid of this bike. I really like this bike. I love this bike. It's so comfortable. But it made me think, to ride with my wife, maybe it would be nice to have something that I can touch the floor and I'm not going to drop it at a stop, because that was frustrating. And started thinking, I always liked the Harleys, which is why I got the Indian Scout, but I always liked the cruiser style. And the one that looks really good to me will be the Harley, not the big cruisers, the one that's a medium size. What's it called? It's the one that has the ST version. Oh my god, now I'm forgetting the name. I'll post it on the screen. So it is the Harley-Davidson Lowrider ST. The only issue for me is that I can't justify the price. That bike, brand new, it's over $23,000, or I believe it comes out the door in California after taxes and all at like 28K. And I don't think I could justify that price. So Harley is a great motorcycle, and I would be down to buy one. I mean, they look really cool, they sound cool, and I like how the cruisers ride. But I can't justify paying almost 30K for a motorcycle like that. I could buy two of these for the price of one of those. And I think that's the main thing that makes me not want to buy it, is when I think about the price, and I think all the other things that I could buy for that price. And when it comes to saying like, oh, this motorcycle costs almost $30,000. It's the mid-size cruiser that Harley has. But then it's a great cruiser, but then you think about it, and I could buy a litter bike for that price and have some money left. Or I could buy like one MT-09 and another motorcycle for that price and still have money left. So it doesn't really make sense to me. And not to add that all of the parts on those motorcycles are very expensive. So if you want to do any upgrade, and you will want to do some upgrades, any upgrades on those motorcycles are very expensive. As I mentioned on my review on the Indian Scout, every single part for those motorcycles are just too pricey. It's like you want to do a handlebar upgrade, like a riser, it's $1,000. You want to do any little thing that you want to do on the bike, it's an extra $1,000. You want to put a seat, almost $1,000, more than $1,000 depending on the seat that you want to get. And then paying almost $30,000 for a motorcycle. I don't know if I can justify it. So if someday I find one that is used for around 15K, I would probably buy it. Have a second motorcycle. While I ride here, I'm going to be trying to remember the motorcycle name. But let me know in the comments. Do you guys ride Harleys, or do you think they're worth it? I know everybody says they're great motorcycles, and you know they're American made, this and that. But 30K, I mean, it's like 27-ish. I can't justify that. It's a lot of money. Even the Indian Scout that I bought, I think it was a stupid decision from my part. This bike here, I bought it new, but this bike is awesome. You know, I didn't need to do any upgrades to this bike. The only thing I did was a crash bar, the windscreen. Other than that, it's basically stock. Oh, it's the Lowrider ST. That's the motorcycle. Sorry, guys. I kept blanking out. I mean, it's Monday morning. So my brain was just blanking out. So it is the Harley-Davidson Lowrider ST. I'll try to throw this information in the beginning of the video. Thing about cruisers that they're not as easy to commute as this motorcycle or as like an MT-09. They're very fun to ride. So it would be more like a second bike for me to ride on weekends or ride with my wife. And if any of you guys have ever ridden a Lowrider ST before, let me know how that bike feels. I've seen a couple of reviews and everything says that bike is awesome. That's a sporty bagger, which is kind of my style, the type of motorcycle that I like. As you guys can see, I like motorcycles that are going to be somewhat a little bit sporty, but also still somewhat nimble and comfortable. Okay, so I like a little bit of everything. I'm not a full-on sports bike, super sports, or I'm not a full-on, bagger or a big adventure bike. I like a middle ground, so something that can provide a little bit of each. So let me know in the comments, guys. What do you guys ride? What type of motorcycle is your favorite? As I mentioned, mine is the one that has a little bit of everything. Let me know what you guys ride. I would love to hear the options that are out there that I haven't looked at. You know, maybe you guys would change my mind and say, you know, you should try this cruiser if you're looking into that bike, or you should try this other motorcycle. I saw a retro bike the other day that looked pretty cool. It was a BMW, and the passenger seat was basically the same height as the rider's seat, the driver's seat. And I thought that was pretty cool. My wife said she would like that better, instead of being high on the back seat like she is on this bike here. But I'm not sure. I never ridden retro bikes. I don't know how they perform. But the bike did look pretty cool. So I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. got tight. As you guys can see, the F800gs is a great commuter. Can do lane split really easily. I don't know why this lady is so afraid that someone is gonna get in front of her, so I'm not gonna do that.